What is up, YouTube? It is your boy JoeWo. I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day so far. Thank you guys so much for clicking on today's video, because I have a very special one where I'm going to show you guys the best settings and best things you guys need to know for Modern Warfare 2. Now, in case you guys don't know or missed my past videos, I was actually out in California. Now I'm back home in North Carolina, but I was in California actually beta testing Modern Warfare 2, and I got a sneak peek of the alpha in Warzone. Now, obviously, this was a great deal of help for me, and now I can help you guys out being able to play the game super early with over 200 creators. Also, if you guys don't know, I will link it down below, my scuff link. I have my very own PlayStation 5 scuff, which I use every day, my hands down favorite controller. If you guys like to check that out, make sure to click that link down below and use code JoeWo at scuff checkout. Now, with all that being said, let's get straight into the beta. Alrighty, let's get straight into the settings here. So obviously, to start off, to get to the settings menu, you press your start button and then go R1 the settings. Now I'm going to go down to controller and kind of walk you guys through the settings tab. So this is obviously a little bit different from what we saw in Vanguard or Warzone. So this is going to be a new settings menu, which I actually kind of like. So to start off with, you press L2, and that is going to be which way you tab through the different settings. And then at the top, you can press R1 or L1 to go through the advanced, or with things like graphics or sound, you can tab through certain things at the top. So to start off with controller, let me walk you guys through my settings. Obviously, I'm on a controller. It's the PS5 and PS4 beta right now. So obviously, next week when it's out on PC, you can be on keyboard and mouse or controller and all that jazz. But I'm on controller. So to start off with, I am on default. I do not play on flipped. So I basically have with the scuff digital tap triggers, which means I don't have to play on flipped, and all of my buttons are basically mouse input clicks. So I do not play on flipped. I also play on default sticks, and I'm on 10/10 sensitivity. I tried to basically mimic everything from Warzone and basically where it feels the same in Modern Warfare 2. I also have my ADS sensitivity multiplier to 0.8. I play on 0.85 in Warzone, but 0.8 in this because it just feels, right as I'm aiming down sights, it feels a little bit more snappier and where I can track targets better when I'm ADS. Going down here to my aim down sights behavior, most of this stuff I wouldn't touch. This is on hold, so obviously if you hold down, you'll be aiming down sights, and then if you let go, you're not. I also run automatic tactical sprint. You guys know, if you guys have ever played Call of Duty recently in the past 2 years, automatic tactical sprint is so key. This will save your thumb, this will save your controllers. This is very important. Most of it will probably be on off or maybe automatic or automatic sprint, but make sure to change this to automatic tactical sprint. That means when you push forward on your left stick, that means that you are going to be going straight into a tactical sprint. And obviously with slide canceling and things like that, there's obviously a slide cancel now, which I'll show you guys. But obviously with slide canceling, the goal is to reset your automatic tactical sprint, so you are always moving across the map at the fastest speed. Basically, make sure you change the setting, get used to it. It will help you, help your hands, help your controller in the long term. Alrighty, so next, switching over to this advanced tab. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna touch the aim assist type and aim assist response curve yet. I know that some people like to play on dynamic, some people like linear. Obviously, I've seen some people touch these settings yet, but for me, so far, default and standard seems the best. Obviously, later, I'm gonna be checking these out, kind of playing with certain settings and seeing if I like them more. But even in Warzone, default and standard is my go-to. With dead zones here, this is very important, so listen up. Now, I know a lot of people like to just copy other people's dead zone, but you cannot do that. Obviously, as dead zones are controller specific. Now, basically, the lower to 0 you go with the number, that means that it's going to be a lower dead zone, and that is going to mean that your controller could be thinking that you're pressing the button when you're not, or moving your sticks when you're not. My controller, because I like to play on a lower dead zone, and I just don't have dead zone in general, I put it on 0.01. I believe the default is going to be 0.10, which that means you can go closer to 0, which could be 0.09, 0.08, and so forth and so on, until it seems like your stick is just registering that you're moving when you're not. This can really help your aim, as that means that when you're getting into a gunfight, that you would have to move your stick farther before it registers. And as we know, that fraction of time can get you killed in a game or get you more kills. I personally like to have a little bit of stick drift. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like because I'm not taking my right hand or my right thumb ever off my stick, that means that I always have full control of where I'm aiming. Now, I know a lot of people have a lot of stick drift. So that means that they're going to obviously go higher with this number, but I personally go lower because I always have my right thumb and left thumb on the joysticks, which means I always have full control. And I like that little bit of dead zone, so I never feel like I'm fighting against aim assist and fighting against dead zone in certain fights. Obviously, with my L2 and R2 dead zone, I put it on 0.01 because I have the digital tap triggers on the scuff, which means I don't need to have a dead zone setting because it's a actual like mouse click. So that is going to be what I have for my dead zone setting. All right, now the moment that you guys have probably all been waiting for, and this is going to be the very, very important settings on how to slide cancel. Now, obviously, because this is a beta form, we don't have the full range of settings that we may use, obviously, later in the game. But right now, I'm going to show you guys how to slide cancel and the settings you guys are going to need to know and turn off to do this. So obviously, with ground and mantle, you're going to have to turn this off. You're going to go to automatic airborne mantle. You're going to turn this off, and then automatic ground mantle, turn this off. Now, the problem with this, what can happen is if you are close to a wall or a door or something like that, your game will think you are trying to mount something. Now, we know in Warzone, mounting and things like that can be okay, but in multiplayer, I don't ever want to mount. Obviously, I'm trying to have full control of my character and what the gun is doing at all times. Now, I think when the PC beta comes out next week, and obviously the full game later, we're going to have an option to just turn off mounting in general, which I'm going to have off. So right now, I'm going to show you guys in multiplayer how to do this. Alright, so now that we are into the game here, I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So the way that you're going to do this is going to be a button combination. It's going to be a slide, ADS, jump. Now, that's going to be a circle, ADS, jump. Now, it's going to look something like this. And then as you're sliding around corners, like I said, which can happen is mantle. But if you're not around corners, it should look something like this, where you're always going to be sliding. It's basically a slide cancel like we know. And the biggest thing for this game also is the B-hop is very, very important. The B-hop, you can get a ton of momentum as you go into those gunfights, which can really throw off opponents' aim. Now with the slide cancel, it's going to be a way to make sure your automatic tactical sprint is always going to be reset, and that is going to be a button combination of slide, ADS, jump. Now you can't really see it because I have paddles, but slide, ADS, jump. Should look something like this. Alright, so now quickly rolling into a little bit of the graphics settings here. I have on-demand texture streaming, which usually we turn that off in Vanguard, but right now I'm going to have it on because it really does help your game look a little bit better. But if you have good internet, obviously this can be okay. If you don't, I would just recommend turning this off for now. I've had it on. It seems fine. This is very, very important. Make sure you always have off motion blur. Honestly, in any FPS, make sure you turn off world motion blur and weapon motion blur off. This will just cause a ton of visual noise while you're playing the game that just doesn't look good. I know if people have played with this setting before on, it could be a little bit weird, but overall, to improve your experience in your FPS and just how the game plays, make sure you turn off motion blur. I have also depth of field off and fidelity cast. The biggest thing I know for console players like, let's go. And I'm pretty sure it's coming to Warzone. There is a FOV tab. Make sure to crank this up. I have mine on 120 FOV. The standard is 80. Play around from 80 to say 100. If you think that 120 is too much, I see some people play on 90 to 100 and that can be perfect. Make sure that you turn up your FOV. You're going to be able to see players a lot better. A very, very important thing also is to change this to affected FOV. That means when you ADS your gun, it does not actually zoom in back to 80 FOV. It just stays on 120. I see some people play on independent FOV, but most professional players do play on affected FOV, and this can be a very, very important setting also. Help you win a ton of gunfights. Alrighty, now moving on to the audio tab. I have my audio mix on headphones, obviously because I have headphones, but the game really does sound good with headphones on and this audio mix. I have my master volume at 100, music at 10 because I just don't really care to hear like certain sounds. I also have the dialogue and effects volume on 50 and 50. This means I can hear certain things like when people are calling in UAV or streaks or things like that. I have my hit marker volume obviously all the way up, so I know when I'm actually hitting someone, which is going to be very, very important. I haven't really touched the voice chat volume and things like that because I run my audio through my PC, so I don't know the best voice chat volumes as you're talking in game. Alrighty, that is gonna wrap up our Modern Warfare 2 beta settings video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys again for clicking on today's video. I'm very excited to be cranking out a ton of content with obviously Modern Warfare 2 and when Warzone 2 drops, the best settings video, tips and tricks, the whole shebang. If you guys are new and like what you guys saw today and would like to subscribe down below, it would mean the absolute world to me as we're getting closer and closer to 500,000 subscribers. With all that being said, get into some games, slay out. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.